Hi guys. Again, relative to having visited Bacolod, uh, sometime I get to thinking, well, it sure would be nice to live in a place that has an S&R and Landers, these big wholesale places, wholesale uh, warehouse sale places, just for the convenience sake and whatnot. But I'll tell you what, Bacolod I find easier to get around in, but the traffic there's a lot of it. I was happy to get out of there, and I really didn't drive around that much. I stayed, the previous time I stayed at Seda, S-E-D-A. It's a very nice hotel, but it's like $71 a night. And I mean, the breakfast, I never saw anything like it in my life. That's how good it was. It was such a variety. You can't believe how much of the stuff they put out. But I couldn't afford that this time, having, as I indicated in the last video, helped someone out. And by the way, I said I wasn't sure if they appreciated it or not. Actually, I got a lot of disrespect out of that whole thing. And that's what hurts, disrespect in various ways. Be that as it may, there will be an account given one day. I'm not, so I'm leaving it there. But we're in getting back to Bacolod. I went north, by the way. Seda and Landers and S&R are on the north side of Bacolod. That's why I selected Seda the first time I went. This time I went, maybe a kilometer beyond Seda on the same road. There is a left turn up about a kilometer, and the place is called Henry's Hotel Roost. They only have about 18 rooms, but it might not look like really fancy, or it's very average on the outside. It's on a corner, but the rooms are just super clean and super updated, and it was very, very nice. The room is very small, 10 by 10, I'm guessing, feet, 10 feet by 10 feet. There's no room for a chair or a table. But I do have I took a little video of it. Nice large shower though. But everything was very nice. They have a restaurant up there also on the second floor. And that's nice as well. So it's a second option if you want a nice place. That was $42 a night. And I was alone, so what do I need to pay $72 for? And the purpose was just to access S&R and Landers. So I got home in time for pickleball in the afternoon. I got home at 9 a.m., left at about 10 to 5. And still enjoying pickleball. I mean, it's a craze. It gets in your blood, and it's not too hard for a 74-year-old. I mean, I love it, but thankfully, I don't have aches and pains like the younger guys do. So I do have knee problems. Sometimes it gets. I don't know what the problem is inside, but when I put my hand under the back of the knee and then crank up on my leg, it seems to pop something back in place. I don't know if it's a tendon issue or what, but if I leave it, it hurts, and it feels like my leg is going to give way to the inside. That's what it feels like. So that's scary. So I put my hand or my pedal under my knee, like behind the knee, and lift my leg up a couple times, and I'm good to go. That's the only complaint I have, thankfully. May I say that we lost one of our friends that used to play pickleball. He was the youngest of the bunch. I'm the oldest currently, 74. We have we have a couple in their early 60s and several under 70. But this gentleman was the biggest. He's like 6'4" and about 350 pounds. That's what he told me. But he had some health issues. And after one Friday, I guess it was on the Saturday, day after, or just a week ago Saturday, he had a heart attack and died. So we don't know when. Our time's up, do we? He was ready. Those of us playing pickleball together actually also attend a Bible study Wednesday morning, Saturday morning. And that's how you get to play pickleball with our group, because otherwise there'd be a crowd. No kidding. So this weeds out serious people. Speaking of being serious, this guy was ready to meet God. There was a time in his life when he realized his sin before a holy God, and he accepted God's remedy, and that's God's Son, Jesus Christ, as his personal Savior. See, the answer for eternity, friends, is in a person. It's in Jesus Christ. It's not in a religion. It's not in rituals. I mean, you see it all over the place here. Or it's not in baby baptism. That's not even mentioned in the Bible. But some people stand by it because that's all they know. It's tradition. Let me ask you, what are you depending on for eternity? I mean, I'm getting there. So I think about it. Do you think about it? You should. You know, time here on earth passes so quickly. I mean, I feel 40, no kidding. I feel 40, but look at me. I mean, it's a laugh, isn't it? Oh, and look at that. Look, here's something else I'll talk about. It's a laugh. Time passes so quickly. Eternity is forever. So am I going to be proud and mighty and say, oh, I don't need that, or I won't worry about it, No, you're going to face eternity, my friend. Where is it going to be, heaven or hell? It's very simple. The remedy for sin, my sin, is in Jesus Christ. Why? Because he paid the debt. What it cost to put my sin away, your sin away. He paid that debt when he suffered on Calvary's cross. God put on him all of our sin. The Bible is very clear about that. My sin's on Jesus. Where are yours? If you haven't come to Christ, acknowledging your sin, accepting him for what he is, the Savior of sinners, the Savior for you, my Savior, then you're missing out. It's going to be an awful eternity. There's heaven or hell. The Bible is very clear on that. So when a close buddy, in fact, Friday, this big guy and somebody else beat our team. I was on this other team, two players, both sides of the net, which didn't usually happen, but he got us that time, him and another guy, and we got him the next time around. But when you associate with someone and all of a sudden they're gone at age 54. Makes you think. I had 20 years on him. So, friend, time passes. Eternity's coming. Are you ready? Let's talk about my eye. This one. I had a cataract out. My goodness, crowding 2 months ago. I had a friend who used the same doctor, another guy at the Bible study, Greg. He had both his eyes done, and he's got 20/20. Doesn't need glasses. He's 60. He's over 65, maybe 68, maybe, and he's fine. So I went to the same doctor, and well, I didn't get the same results, but it is improving. It started out worse than 20/50. 3 weeks ago it was 20/50, but now this is 20/30 without correction. That's why I had that one glass on. I can't wear my other side for this eye because it really is. It's my prescription isn't the same currently on this eye. So they did more testing, and I had to go somewhere else to get topographical pics of the eye, inside, etc. Anyway, they determined that I have inflammation in the eye because of the color on their pics. So he prescribed some vitamins, lutein, and something else that zeaxanthin that I wasn't getting, in supplementation, that is, and specific eye drops to take the inflammation away. And it's improved in the last couple of weeks. I would say I'm at least 20/40 now, and it might be closer to 20/30, but sometimes it's definitely not. But sometimes it is. So I'm praying that inflammation goes away, because when you spend 105,000 pesos, which, dollar-wise is not that much, but it's still 4,000 I didn't have to, dish out otherwise, right? Dollars, that is, $4,000. Well, for both eyes, sorry. So this one was 105. And I did have PhilHealth paid some, but because for the laser work, which PhilHealth wants you to wait 3 months before they'll pay anything on the laser work after, I opted to come out with $200 out of pocket, over and above what I would have saved through them, to get it done, hoping that would correct the situation. Well, it didn't. So I'm praying that it clears up. I think the doctor's okay. I mean, that's all he does. And he's about, I'm guessing, 55, He's been around. So that's the story of my eyes, and I'm trying to avoid wearing glasses. Of course, using them on one side doesn't look so terrific, and they don't stay on properly. I just backed out the screw for the other side because they're frameless, and I'm going with it. So we'll keep you posted on the eye, but otherwise everything's okay. I've been here 2 years past now. Actually, 2 years past March 17th. And I don't plan on going anywhere. Maybe a run to other islands to visit. By the way, airfare, since COVID, airfare has really bumped up here. Used to be cheap, $40, $60, fly anywhere. Oh, not anymore. Oh, no. You'll find out when you get here and do that. There are other options, slower options, but like ferries, if you have time and not in any rush. But I'm still enjoying it. Yeah, the weather, you don't get used to the humidity, but you do learn to cope with it. And there's a shower. There's the air conditioner. That's the best kind, the splits. And there's a shower. So you You go out and sweat it out. Us guys playing pickleball, we guys, I guess is the proper English, we're wet when we're finished with that game. Lay a towel on the seat in the car and come home and jump in the shower. So you don't like it, you don't get used to it, but you learn to deal with it. So that's the Philippines. It's like Florida. Lived there for 14 years. And it's no different. It might be worse here. Some people say it's not as bad. So I guess it's up to your individual discretion. Reflecting on a video I did, or I responded to a comment months ago relative to SRR visas. SRRV, the permanent one that I've got. I wasn't military, so you have to drop $10,000 in a government bank, which you can get back if you buy a condo whose value is over $50,000. So you can, or your beneficiary gets it. So it's not a loss, but it's sitting there, right? If you're not using it. But if you're military, just have a friend get his SRRV. He's military. His renewal is like $10 a year. Mine, and by the way, he doesn't. If they have to put anything in the government bank, it's minimal, like $2,500 or something. But his fee is like $10 a year renewal. The SRRV is a permanent visa, but the card expires after 1 year. So you have to dish out something for the card. Well, in military case, apparently it's $10. That's what he said. In my case, it's over 20,000. Now 20,000 pesos. So $10, like 500 pesos, maybe 550 now with the exchange. It's peanuts, right? So when I give you my cost of living, and I mentioned, indicate a number there for SRR visa, I've split a year up into 12 months, and that's what you get. So they're going to get you one way or another, but it's permanent. There's no female that can kick you out if she decides, even after marriage on a 13A, that she doesn't like you anymore. She don't have to sign a renewal, right? So you don't have to worry about that with SRRV, and you can start a business here with an SRRV. And so there's benefits, no doubt about that. Traffic, well, it can be so frustrating. If you've had a good sleep, you can deal with it. If you're short on sleep, guard yourself, because you're going to have to try extra hard not to get upset. I used to have had a hard time there for a long time. But what you need to do is cautiously drive just like they do, with no consideration for letting anybody in or anything nice like that, or yielding. The word doesn't exist here, okay? So drive just like they do, cautiously. If there's an opening, just ease your nose in there, or you're not going to get in. On the cross street downtown, forget it. So you got to just keep moving. And when this side stops, you keep moving, and you brake for a bigger opening until somebody actually does stop. That's just how they do it here. So you do the same thing, and without getting excited, and the traffic keeps moving. So we can't change anything here. So you got to just just get used to the way things are, adapt. You change, you change, and it's okay. I'm back in the corner here of this house. I don't hear any noise. I don't hear traffic or anything. I do have my 3 o'clock roosters over about 100 yards away, but there's walls the whole length. Like in my case, I guess a 7 foot neighbor is about 8 or 9 foot, so that keeps the sound out. So I know when it's 3 o'clock. No kidding. Within 5 minutes of 3, 1 or 2 of them are cutting loose. And at 5 o'clock, you got all of them. But again, it's a muffled sound for me where I'm at. But if there's roosters next door, they're going to drive you nuts. I had one right next door here when I moved here. They moved after about 6 months, thank God. But that thing had to be retarded because it started at 1 a.m. 1 a.m. So bring some earplugs. My friend, not too far from me, about a mile away, he uses earplugs because there's traffic sounds, there's neighbor sounds. So bring something if you think you're going to be bothered, because you won't sleep. Like I say, depending where you are, I'm fortunate that this is a very, very quiet place. In fact, when that neighbor or that neighbor has a party, I'm actually happy because I hear some sound. Here has some happiness going on. If that's happiness, if they're boozing that up, it's not happiness, but at least they're relaxing and whatnot. And I don't mind it. They're usually cut it by 10, 11. I think once it was 12 o'clock, but it's so infrequent. I think I've had maybe 4 in the last year and a plus year and March, 4 months. So you get used to everything, okay? Just come with enough money. As I mentioned in the last video, my friend helped this guy for a whole month because he spent his $1,300. That's all he got. Well, I'm not a heck of a lot above that in my Social Security, but I don't know how that guy spent, because if you're careful, you can do it with that amount. However, don't count on. I have a 3-bedroom house here, which I only have for the sake of storage, which I have second thoughts about bringing so much, by the way. I did use it to build it, a lot of it to build a house over there in the other island. But when I consider the cost of shipping, I could have made do with what they had here. Smaller items, like a good battery drill, or 2 or 3, which I have, or 4. That was a good idea. And small tools are a good idea. But I've got routers up the yin-yang, and I've got a milling machine here in pieces, and those kind of things I couldn't sell in the States. So I brought them. And I may have to try to sell them here. So being 110, some of the equipment, I have transformers, and they're available here, and they work great. I've got 3 of them, 1,000 watt, a 500 watt, and just wait a minute, 5,000 watt, a 1,000, and a 500 watt. That's what it is. So you can make it if you want to move here. Bring enough, make sure you have enough money, have an open mind, and be careful with the time frame around Filipinas. I made some mistakes, and I've paid for it financially. And you start with trying to help them, and before you know it, you spend a lot of money. And if you have a soft heart like I do, that just means more money out the door. And I've made my mistakes here, so be careful. I've been long-winded enough. I'm cutting it. So you guys have a good rest of the day, and appreciate your president there in the United States. And I hope it continues positively. So until next time, take care. Bye now.